certainly didn't expect to see him in Saudi and not in the ring just last night. First of all, let me take you back to 15 minutes before you got the call. What were you doing?
Are you talking about here or in the Congo?
In the Congo, before they called you, before you knew that Dubois was not going to make it?
Yeah. Look, I was surprised first, and I was not only surprised, but I was shocked. And look, I went to Congo because, except boxing, I'm a businessman, so I always do business. I went to Congo to, to start up, build up my first mall. So everything started nice, and I was sitting in my lounge bar. So I just had my phone, and Coach Billy called me, and he said, "Hey, Martin, you know what? Daniel Dubois is off." I said, "What? Are you sick?" I said, "No, he's off. He's sick." And they asked me if he can replace him, if he can, make it from Congo to Saudi Arabia. I said, "Stop joking. I already buy my life on Dazan, so I'm waiting to watch the fight. So why saying that I have to go to Saudi?" I said, "Coach, that's not possible." I say, "Hey, I have two options. And don't forget that Excellency, promised us 3 fights this year. And he asked us a favor. The only man that right now, your medical, everything is okay. The only man who can save the show. So you need to think about there's money here, there's risk, you know in the camp, and there's money and there's risk. You choose." I say, I just start building up my mall. I need money. And that's it. The money was good. I say, yes, I'm ready to go.
And there is Martin Bakole from the first part of this interview. Shout out to Radio Raheem from Seconds Out with the interview with Martin Bakole. As you heard, Martin Bakole was saying, hey, well, it's not possible based on the fact that I'm in the Congo. I'm starting my mall. I'm a businessman and I'm doing this thing right now. And, and that's that. Now, keep in mind, he was one of the candidates because he was the only one that was already cleared to fight. Okay. And to my understanding is it was pretty much like his trainer gave him options. Like, look, you got 2 options. You take the risk versus reward. The money's good. You know what I mean? So you need money for the mall. As you guys heard him say, the money was good. I needed money for this mall to invest in this mall. There's the money. Let's go. Okay. And I think when money gets involved, this is a sign to me. Okay. Just looking at it from this segment of the interview, I look at it as karma. Karma. Why? Well, the same thing happened to Martin Bakole is the same thing that pretty much happened to Jared Anderson. You get an opportunity to fight someone that you're not prepared for or not ready for. But then the money is so lucrative, the money is so tempting that you take the money anyway. So it's something that is against your better judgment, but you take it anyway due to the lucrativeness of the money. Right? So that's what I've seen in this situation. So it's kind of that, that karma coming back around because it's like, well, hey, I'm a dangerous guy. I'm an avoidable guy. But then, you need me for this. And, it's against my better judgment. But then the money's good. So guess what? Let's go. So let's continue on that.
And that's it. The money was good. I said, yes, I'm ready to go. So I accept the fight. And I was thinking maybe it's a joke. He said, no, it's not a joke. If you know someone and if you can get a private jet, just maybe call your president if you can get a private jet. And I said, I tried to call, but it was too late. I went to the airport to try to get a jet. And the jet, I finally said, no, we can't fly because we need authorization. So authorization, we need to get it the day, not night like this. So. And I said, second option, you can book for me Ethiopian Airlines. So I'll fly in morning.
It was a 3-stop flight, right?
No, 2 stop. So from Congo to Addis Abeba to Saudi Arabia.
And how many hours were you traveling?
4 hours from Congo to Addis Ababa, and 3 hours and a half from Addis Ababa to Saudi Arabia.
And there's a layover even in between.
Of course,
There's a layover even in between.
of course, I reached my hotel 3 in the morning, and I find various people waiting for me. So, so I spent more than 1-2 hours again to pee. Oh, I will not sleep that day. So, and it was a fight day.
When your trainer called you, you were like, well, this is not possible. I'm not training. It's going to take so long to get there, all these things. And your initial instinct to not take the fight, the one motivating factor, what was the one thing that ticked you over and was like, okay, I'll do it?
Firstly, was to to not let excellence down, because a big platform and a big show. You know, Joseph Parker, Daniel Dubois, everyone was waiting for that fight. You know, everyone loves to see big boys. So the first thing was to not let excellence down, because I turned down already his proposal. He always proposed me something like that. The first was this Zilizang, something like that. I was not ready. I said, sorry, I can't make it. And I was in the Congo as well. So this is like a second or third time, if I have a good memory. And that's the first thing. And I saw the way I spoke to him in London in the Ring Magazine show. He promised me 3 fights, and he's asking me a big favor. And the second thing was that the good money was involved in. So I said, why not? So I need the money.
Now, after he asked you the first time, you couldn't do it because, you weren't ready for Zhang. Did it stand to reason to be like, well, maybe I should stay in the gym a little bit. Maybe I should, because, fighters stay ready and you don't have to get ready.
You're right, but no, don't forget, this is professional, so we stay ready, always stay ready in the gym. But if you watch me last night, you see, if it was not that punch, I was good taking it to Joseph Park having 10 or 12 rounds, no problem. Because I'm training every day. But there's difference between training camp and training normal. So training camp, you focus on someone like Joseph Parker, Daniel Dubois. They know that they're going to fight on Saturday. So he's preparing on someone, he's working hard on someone. So everything changed in a second. So imagine I'm in Congo doing business, not in the gym, and I'm preparing for someone else, and they call you now. No, can you please fight someone in 1-2 weeks? I said no. But that time, it was very hard. The money was a little bit low, and the risk was a little bit high. So I said, no, I don't want to lose my position. So I said, no, but this time, no choice. Especially they proposed me, and they say, this fight will never, no matter win or lose, it's not going to affect your fight on me. I said, if it's like that, it's okay. No problem.
Okay. That I did not know. They had already called Martin Bakole, knowing that he was cleared medically anyway. So he was already called for that card, but he couldn't because he knew that would affected his IBF position, because he is high on the IBF, and the IBF is moving him further along, with the Zili Zhang. And the Aget Kabayel fight. That's why Aget Kabayel and Zili Zhang ended up fighting each other, because my understanding is he wasn't ready for the fight. Well, I thought that if he was I thought that Zili Zhang ducked him. So if Zili Zhang ducked you, how could he duck you if you wasn't ready? So that's a question mark right there. I don't, that's something that we really have to talk about, because, we thought that Aget Kabayel ducked him, but then we heard that, I forget his name, Spencer Brown, maybe? Not Spencer Brown. Somebody asked for too much money, right? They asked for too much money in the camp, and they didn't make the fight. All right. And the fight wasn't made. And then Zili Zhang. So it was Zili Zhang, then Aget Kabayel, but those guys ended up fighting each other yesterday. He ended up on the same card. Well, this wouldn't affect his IBF. So if it wouldn't affect his IBF, okay, I understand that. Because who wants to be affected by a fight? So, basically a free fight without any stipulations, but really not any prep time as well. So, if you win, you win. But if you don't, more than likely you won't. But he said that, hey, there's a difference between fighting in a camp and then, training camp and then being in shape. Well, there is. But I'll tell you, like some of my comments that I've read, that had nothing to do with the punch. Now, sure, in preparation, if you were anticipating what he would do, sure. But at the end of the day, it's protect yourself at all times. Okay. That punch would have landed if he would have been ready or not. You know what I mean? Hopefully he would have been more prepped to see what type of habits that Joseph Parker was doing or does, but that's up to him and his strategist, his trainer, to get that together. But they didn't have that. So you kind of get it, but then it's like, well, you were going to get people like, well, he went down, he got knocked out, he got hit. It wasn't because he was just this way and that way. But let's continue. Let's continue.
You fight on me. I say if it's like that, it's okay. No problem.
When you were on the way here, you said you didn't sleep. When we were coming up in the elevator, you said you haven't slept since Tuesday or something crazy. Did you have second doubts even again, like, maybe I really shouldn't do this?
Yeah. No. No doubts, like I told you. No, everything was okay for me. So otherwise I was not going to do this. Never do this in my life before. And especially for my country, especially for myself and my career as well. So if you watch now and I lose my place, so I move down from 5 to 14. I checked last night in box reg, so I lose my place. But I lose my place for a reason. I think I know I will get there again because for me, I've not lost the fight. No, I've not lost the fight, so I have a lot to do.
I saw you got to Saudi about 2-3 in the morning. You did a weigh-in still. Did you get any sleep before the fight? Were you able to rest?
Yeah, I was sleeping in the changing room.
In the building, in the arena.
Yeah.
Wow.
I fell asleep in the building a little bit. But my coach woke me up and say, hey, come on, we know this is a big sacrifice. So I'm proud of them. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of what I'm doing. Look, I have a family. I have to look after my kid. I'm doing this for their living. So soon I have a good opportunity to get something like for your family. I'll just jump on it.
Let's step inside the ring.
Okay. So this man didn't really get any sleep from the time he got there. He said he slept in the dressing room, which I'm like, wow, where did you put your clothes? You know what I mean? Like, didn't really get a lot of sleep. Wasn't prepared, obviously. He said in the dressing room, if that's the case, that is a sacrifice. I mean, it is. I don't care how you slice it or dice it. I don't care if you like him, if you don't. That is a sacrifice, what he did. Nobody probably everybody would have been against it. But I think what it was about the money. The layovers, the whole idea of, taking that fight with Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker dancing to the ring, looking good, looking great, looking in shape. I didn't care for the weight change, but I don't know if that would have affected him. But obviously it wouldn't have affected him with Mark Bakole. So I don't know how it would have affected him in, overall Danny Dubois, the original fight. So, let's continue.
Okay. You see Joseph Parker across the ring. He's clearly been in camp. He's focused. He's ready. What's going through your mind at that point?
Look, to be honest, I'm not lying this. I was ready to take Joseph Parker because I spy him. I know him. I know I was going to impose my style. And if you see the way I was done, I was looking big, heavy than him. So now I know, so I'm going to catch him with before uppercut or 1-2. He will give up and stop the fight. But, I can, well done to him. And he will prepare the fight and he prepared someone else and it was good. Maybe he said he was in the 5 months in the camp. So he came, he was good, prepared for Daniel Dubois. So to take someone like that and a 1-2, so it's amazing.
He admitted after the fight in the locker room that you heard him. Those shots Hurt him.
He was bleeding already. If you saw his nose, he was bleeding already. I know before my best punch is uppercut. Soon I learned before uppercut. I know Joseph Parker, he doesn't like uppercut. So, so if you watch second round, I learned before backhand and uppercut. He was not holding me already. And I said, for me, I was not going to not to pass for 5-1 with him. I was going to knock him out serious, but it happened and it's strange. And the punch came from nowhere, and I just feel myself down and struggling to stand.
When he hit you with the shot and you, right?
So I was like, oh, it's time to go. And no, to be honest, if you saw me do that movement, so it's showing that I'm in the fight. So I was ready to take the shot, but I was not respecting the shot that put me down. But I was ready to take him. If you see first round, I tried to learn him a little bit, and second round, I just opened up. But no zero training, no run from Anderson until now. I never ran in the gym, just doing 10 rounds on the back and everything. But take someone like Joseph Parker at that level and fighting for WBO interim, and someone who was in the camp for 5 months and preparing for Daniel Dubois. And let me shock you. Look, I fight with Daniel Dubois gloves. So there was even
Dubois gloves. What? You fought with Triple D gloves. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, me too. I said, what the hell? So everything was like strange to me. So
when you do that head shake, everybody in the crowd went, like they scream. Yeah. Were you shaking off a shot that hurt you, or were you letting Parker know that you weren't hurt at all?
Yeah, let him know, because he knows that it won't hurt me. Even if you watch that, he was surprised when he saw me went down. He was surprised. But when doing that, that was a message I'm sending now, that you not hurt me, because for him, he knows that I was out of the gym for long. I was not fit, so he was going to maybe to clean me first, I would say a second round. But to be honest, when I jumped in the ring, I was having, I don't know where that mentality come from. I was feeling like I'm 100% okay, take control, ready to go.
Okay, let me stop right there. This particular fight, the fight itself, Joseph Parker, I could tell he hurt Joseph. I mean, he bloodied Joseph's nose. You could tell Joseph did start to hold. I do, remember all that. But again, I think this is just a fact of you figuring, hey, I know this fighter. I've fought this fighter. I've sparred this fighter numerous of times. I know he don't like uppercuts. I caught him with an uppercut. I hurt him with an uppercut. Then he caught me with a shot that, that appeared bigger than the shot that he actually caught him with, and he didn't respect it. And it just goes to show you respect all punches. Because the punch that he threw, he was dipping down. And since he was dipping down, it was almost like he didn't see the shot. Shots you don't see, bro. It is what it is. And I said it like this. Joseph Parker, it was best that he landed that shot, because if that shot wouldn't have landed, it would have been some punches on Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker would have been dead meat, bro. I'm telling you. See, everyone's praising Joseph Parker, including myself, and we should. But understand the reality of it. If that punch wouldn't have landed, if he didn't catch Joseph, if he didn't catch Martin, Martin would have caught Joseph. It would have been something similar to what we saw. I just can't wait to see him back into the ring. He was wearing Triple D's gloves. I don't know what the hell that was about. It was real strange. The whole thing was strange to me. But it just goes to show you why you should respect someone's power. You should have been goofing off. You should have been paying attention. Maybe if he wouldn't have, because, a lot of people look at that as showboating. Maybe if you wouldn't showboating, Martin, maybe you would have been prepared to miss that shot, because you would have respected it. Like, oh, man, he's throwing bombs and it's early. Joseph Parker is 267 pounds. That was an experimental weight, people. You understand that, right? So since it was an experimental weight, he was trying to see if the weight that he put on would have helped him with the shot. And it might have. Because you got to keep in mind, this is a Samoan genetically built brother. Okay, those cats know how to throw bows, and they got heavy bones with the muscle with it. They're heavy structured. So if they got heavier, if they get heavier and they throw, they have the power to assist with the weight, and the weight adds insult to injury. And that's why Mark Bakole's ass went flat on his ass yesterday. Okay, so that might have been what it is. So saying all that to say this, Danny Dubois might have dodged a bullet. Yeah, just like Tyson Fury dodged a bullet against Aget Kabayel. Remember when he was supposed to fight him in late 2020? Same thing for Danny Dubois. Danny Dubois, there's a lot of fights. That's why I look at fights that don't happen, that were signed to happen, but never happened. You know what I'm saying? For a reason, because you don't know the outcome of those fights. And one thing that Turkey has learned and showed us all is that when those matchups, these unique matchups, that's the word. When these unique matchups get placed together and we get these fights and we get these guys and they come together and they fight, they are rarely what we think they're going to be. The outcome is nothing that we thought they were going to be. Daniel Dubois Joshua, Daniel Dubois Hrgovic. Who else? Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker, Zhilei Zhang, Joe Joyce. You have these fights that we think that it's going to go one way and it's going a totally different way. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. Everybody thought that Usyk was too small for Tyson Fury. So since Turkey has been on the scene, we have witnessed Aget Kabayel, Zhilei Zhang, Aget Kabayel, Arslan Bekmambetov. These fights happened where we thought that they were going to go this way and they ended up going a totally opposite direction. That's what we're learning. So the more fights we need more matchups. We need more fresh matchups. Okay? But Mark Bakole, sure, he gets a pass, but he did it because what I didn't know, and recap, that he turned down the opportunity to fight Zhilei Zhang on this huge, fight of the century card because he didn't want to mess up his position in the rankings, which makes sense, So, and then he wasn't getting paid like he got paid yesterday. You see what I mean? To fight Zhang. He's in the co-main, so you're getting more money. You see what I mean? So, yeah, he did it for the money, but he also did it for the reputation and the relationship between himself and Turki Al-Sheikh, which was a smart business move because he did that, he has a pass, but he also has one in the bag too because he did something that a lot of people wouldn't do, But as far as Joseph Parker and Mark Bakole, it's the heavyweights people. Somebody was going to go to sleep, and it just happened to be Mark Bakole. And to really speak on the knockdown, well, Billy Nelson, I think he looked at it as look, I don't want you, and if you think about it through a trainer standpoint, what if he would have recovered? That's one thing. That's one alternative. The other alternative is what? Well, what if he didn't? And Joseph Parker, we know how Joseph Parker likes to open a can of whoop ass. Joseph Parker opens a can of whoop ass people. You know what I mean? And, that would be bad for business because it's fresh. It's the second round. And if your adrenaline, your energy is high because you've been training so damn long. And then look, all you have to do is hit the gas a little bit, especially when someone's already, damaged, or hurt a bit. So, yeah. And I think Billy's thought about that May event too. No, we have to make sure you're fresh enough for that event that you're training to be in. So, you know what I mean? That might have been one of the reasons, because it's hey, well, Joseph Parker's hurt you. So, we don't want to get in a situation where someone's already faster than you, in better shape than you, and has hurt you. And, now he has probably every advantage on finishing you. You know what I mean? And that finishing you part can be damaging to your career. But you guys tell me what you think about this long breakdown. I know it's a long one, starring Martin Bakole and hosted by Radio Raheem and Seconds Out. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.